In the words of the late George Carlin, BS is the glue that binds us together as a nation. Here comes a ton of it. It's time for BSing with Big Nate.
Welcome into another edition of BSing with Big Nate. I am joined today by Dougie from Crashing Atlas because last time I talked to him, they'd kind of just been in the studio for a week, and a week turned into what? Almost a month, if not a month, and done in the studio.
Yeah, all done. Theoretically, all done. All done together, I'll say. But yeah, it did take a month. Yeah, and also thanks for having me, Big Nate. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. I love our conversations. It's always fun to talk to you. So I was eager to have you on, and the stars aligned, as it were. So. You are now, you are all together and now you are apart, and that's no fun, but we'll talk about wrapping it up first. The album, you guys, as far as tracking goes, you were done, correct?
Correct. All done.
Are the songs all titled, the album titled?
The songs are all titled. The album is tentatively titled. We're 99.9% sure we're going with this. We're just trying to get images together to go along with this title. So, but everything's kind of in place where it should be, for sure.
So let's talk about this. Everything's in place. You guys have done your bit in the studio. Where does it go from here? Because I'm sure a lot of people think, oh, the band's done. The album should be out.
Right.
That's
right. Totally. I mean, I wish it was as simple as, us walking out of there and, we got a record in our hands. So, I mean, we still have the mixing and mastering process to go. We have our guy for mixing right now, and we're just trying to get a feel for what he's going to do on the record. There's going to be a lot of back and forth with that, and just getting what we originally heard in our heads, and just, kind of aligning him with, our ideas, and just making sure we're on the same page. So it's a lot. It is. But we are definitely going to have a single out by, I believe our mark is November. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into hibernation until then. We'll just nap and wait. I don't think I can do that. But so between finishing up tracking all of your parts to mastering and having it ready for release, how much can it change?
All honesty, the only thing that's gonna change is just, I mean, the parts are what they are. I mean, they're locked in. We have the songs. We like the songs as they are. Nothing musically is going to change. Maybe a vocal overdub here, a vocal overdub there, maybe a something taken away, something, enhanced. But I mean, the songs are what they are. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty stoked about it. It's going to be a banging record.
How do you feel it sounds in comparison to some of your previous work? Do you feel there's like an evolution, or are we kind of just finding the groove and trucking along?
No, there's a definite evolution. I mean, I think Nick put it, perfectly. He was just like, I think we did some stuff that people would expect out of us. There's a couple songs that, we definitely didn't alienate the past fans. That's for sure. But also, we took what we did in the past and we raised the game. I mean, there's heavier guitar riffs. There's drum beats that we would never even think about. We kind of left no stone unturned on this one. We kind of brought everybody's strengths to this record, and I think we hit it out of the park on this one. The fact that everyone brought what they do well.
Can we talk about the drums for a second? You guys had a handy dandy whiteboard with each track, labeled with what I'm assuming aren't the titles, but kind of hints and stuff, and to track what's going on. And Paul was the first one done, was he not?
Yep. So Paul was the first one to go in. The way that we did it is, because we did these songs just, over computers, it was different than being in a physical room and playing these songs out. So what we had to do was kind of like we had our ideas for these songs, and whatever Paul was thinking on these, like drum wise, that's what we were going with. And like, so when he got done in his 2.5, 3 days, I think, that was the structure of the song that we were kind of like cornered with. Like we're going with this. We kind of we put a lot of trust in Paul, and you know, because I mean, it was like it was the foundation to these songs, and that's what we had to work with. So yeah, that's what happened there.
I mean, I was impressed. It was so quick. Like, it was real early on. You guys posted the picture of the whiteboard, and I was like, holy crap, all of the drums are already tracked. It was mind-blowing to me. But, I mean, I could see where that's kind of your starting point. It is the backbone. And what was your favorite part of the process?
Wow. Getting in there and realizing that none of us really had, you know, I mean, it's not that we didn't have a clue of what we were doing, you know, before we got in there, but like the songs just evolved so much from the time that we actually stepped in and were around each other. And we realized, you know, how much like our certain personalities wanted to shine on these songs, and, you know, kind of just being together and just reshaping these songs in like the best manner that we could. I mean, that was the coolest process ever. Just, you know, I mean, and everybody was involved in everything. I mean, obviously, yeah, Paul played every drum part on this record, but I mean, even Marina was sitting in the back, you know, kind of giving, you know, her feedback kind of real time about like what she was feeling. And so that was a cool thing. So, I mean, it's not like, you know, guitars are over with and, you know, bass is over with, Nick's leaving the room, you know, like, I mean, we were all like kind of like in that space whenever something creative was going on.
That was very much the impression I got, that it was very much so a family affair, if you will. I mean, you even had Felix
Yep.
in there, and I think it's nice to have someone who's so intimate kind of involved in the process, and I'm really excited to see what comes out of it. I mean, I was kind of joking earlier with the hibernation, but I'm seriously considering it because 2020 has kind of been one of those years. But
yeah,
is there a track that, I mean, obviously we can't hear it or know too much, but is there a track that you've like particularly become attached to on the album, or is there anything like we should be looking out for?
No, definitely. I mean, I'm not going to give away anything by saying this, but we have a track on there that on the whiteboard, it was called Bounce. We have the real name of the song for that obviously now, but and that one's going to be our huge push for sure. It's going to be like the all out production music video, and it's going to be like one where I'd like to think where it's like we kept our core sound, but we just enhanced it tenfold. Like the riff on that song is just unreal. It's unlike anything we've ever done before. A lot of haunting vocals by Marina, some stuff that she wanted to do, and that song really shows her power as well. And yeah, it's going to be a cool one for us for sure.
We're going to go back to the whiteboard. Bounce.
Yeah.
Was there a system, a naming system, or is Bounce completely unrelated and you're just like throwing some smoke and mirrors at me?
No, it was how it worked was, you know, during like the pre-pro process, it was Nick and I, writing like the basis of what, you know, the instrumentals were going to be. And every time that we finished with a session and we were kind of stoked on a something that we did, we just named it then and there, like what it made us feel. And that one in particular, it was bouncy. You know, it had this, we were like, oh my God, people are going to be jumping to this song. Like they're going to be, and that's how that came about.
I like the system. I think that's some of those, like I do a lot of things on impulse, probably shouldn't, but I kind of like that systematic approach of just kind of first thing to come to your mind and how it makes you feel. I think that it is great. That first impulse is great at conveying emotion, a feeling, and I love that strategy. So that's impressive to me, and I'm excited to see what they're actually called. And I mean, you're gonna have to tell me which one's Bounce. Is it gonna be the first single?
No, it's gonna be the second one. You know, and it's funny that you talk about like, you know, how crap this world's been in 2020, and we have the first single that we're gonna be releasing kind of reflects all of that confusion and anger, and that's gonna be the first one for sure.
I'm excited. So I need to ask now that you're out of the studio, is it out of your hands at this point, or how much engagement do you have from this point on up
Oh,
until?
we're fully engaged. Fully engaged. I know we're a constant dialogue with Felix, and you know, with our mixing guy, and I mean, the easy part's over. I'm gonna say that. I mean, it's an everyday thing now. Like constantly, like what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And there's just a constant dialogue with us about, and it's just so much. It's so much more than the songs. You know, we're already talking about, you know, video concepts and, you know, like marketing strategies, and you know, it's gonna be a crazy ride trying to put out a record in so much unknown right now. So I mean, we're just kind of like, just like everybody, you know, that's in our shoes right now. We're kind of learning as the days go on, and, you know, just figuring out what's best for us.
And that's an interesting discussion. And you can tell me I'm an idiot for asking this, or you can just not answer the question. But is there a universe, like, are you guys real eager to get this out, or do you want to wait for the right moment? Like, is there a potential for, you know, usually you do like an album release show with it.
Yeah.
Is there a
Yeah.
potential world where Crashing Atlas is doing that online instead of an actual show and still throwing the album out there? Or
Yeah.
like, how do you guys feel about that?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I'm not too sure how to answer that. I'm sure it's going to be a time thing, but like, I think in everybody really knows that right now in music, it's a big singles game. You know, a lot of bands, you know, some of the biggest bands out there, they'll put out 4, 5, 6 singles before you even get a taste of the whole record, and then you like listen to the record, you're like, oh, cool, like there's 3 new songs here, like that I haven't heard yet. And I think that, you know, that system, it can be very good, but at the same time, you know, you put out a body of work to put out a body of work. So we're going to be kind of playing that balance game. I think we're going to be finding that sweet spot of releasing 3, 4 singles and then putting the record out. But every band is definitely different. And I think, you know, barring what happens in 2021, if we're able to play shows, of course, you know, we're going to do that old thing of, you know, playing a record release show. And but if we can't, we're going to find a way to do it. You know, I'm sure there'll be a time where it's like, all right, enough time has gone by. And I hope that this doesn't happen, but like enough time's gone by. And, you know, I think we need to think about doing it virtually. So I'm sure a lot of bands are thinking the same thing as us.
I mean, you have my support one way or another. I will be there virtually or in person when this album finally drops and we get an album release show. So I'm really stoked. You mentioned 3 to 4 singles, and I think that's kind of traditional in the route to go. But I want to bring something else up to you. Led Zeppelin didn't release Whole Lotta Love as a single until the 90s because they did an anniversary re-release, and it gave them their first #1 in the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if there's one you just want to hold on to for like 30 years, that's something to consider.
Yeah, for sure. God, I hate even saying this, and it sounds so pretentious, but like there was so much, like, I guess, good argument about what song we were going to do and what songs we were going to release as singles. And like, I mean, we wrote a really cool, complete body of work, and we might have that problem to where, like, you know, our goal in this was, like, we said it, you know, we wanted to write an album full of singles. We didn't want to write any fillers. We took every line to heart. We took every guitar part to heart. So you very well could see a record of, you know, all singles having different motifs, different videos. This record's gonna ride for a while for us, I believe.
I think that's a good place to be in, though. Because, I mean, I've fallen for the trap where, like, I've heard one single off of an album, and then I've bought the album, and the rest of it's, like, garbage.
Yep.
And it really makes me angry because it's like that one single, they had that one song. Obviously, they intentionally. So I think that's a really good place to be in. I don't think it sounds pretentious at all. I think that should be the goal because music's supposed to hook you. It's supposed to make you feel something. You're supposed to be passionate about it. So I think that's a fantastic spot to be in. And like I said, I mean, I can't wait.
Yeah, we can. And sure.
Of course, been chatting with Dougie. In the meantime, while we wait on a single coming up in November is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner, of course, we'll let you know. Maybe give Crashing Atlas some love. Like him on Facebook. Check him out on Spotify. Maybe buy yourself an excellent Crashing Atlas t-shirt.
Oh, man, that looks good on you, Big Nate.
I love it. It's quickly become one of my favorite shirts. I just love the vibrant blue. Who does your screen printing?
So there's this local guy out of Baltimore. Yeah, his name is Jamie. Gosh, he's gonna kill me for not knowing his last name. But the guy's unreal. He does everything out of his garage, and it's a really cool thing to like support like someone who's just local, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the material's great. The shirts. I mean, this isn't my first Crashing Atlas shirt. I will say
right.
I got like 3, but the
right.
screen printing is just next level. So if you're out there, you want some new t-shirts, maybe you've gone through all of them in quarantine, consider a Crashing Atlas tee. Are you guys gonna get in on the masks game?
You know what? It's crazy. I was actually doing a little bit of that last night. I think it's just inevitable now. Even when shows do come back, you know, people are going to need masks, and I mean, and I'm all for it. You know, I guess in a way, like I was a little bit turned off by, you know, bands hopping on it right away. But now that, you know, this is kind of the world that we're in, yeah, I think we're going to be going to that. It's just the way of the world now. So, yeah, we're definitely going to be having masks.
That's exciting stuff to look forward to. Thank you so much for talking to me today, and have yourself a great day, Doug.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate it, man.
Are you sick and tired of using those cheap, smelly blue masks? They always seem to break, and no matter what you try to do and fix it, it just doesn't work. Plus, they look horrendous, and they never fit quite right.
There's gotta be a better mask!
Now there is! Introducing the new limited edition 105.3 The Bear Mask. This 2-ply eco-friendly face cover is washable and reusable. And the best part about the new 105.3 The Bear Mask is that 100% of the proceeds benefit the Southwest Virginia COVID-19 Response Force. Get your new limited edition 105.3 The Bear Mask today.